Hello.
Greetings.
I used to get really mad when she would say greetings because it annoyed me, but I didn't realize she was actually from another dimension. So
Greetings.
yeah, now I'm not annoyed anymore. I don't know why. I'm just a little weird earthling creature, you know? So happy Scorpio full moon, babies. This is Ms Deus Ex Machina.
I'm here to save your world.
That's right. Which world are you part of? We'd also like to do some quick product placement. Slave to capitalism. I am wearing my favorite lipstick from Jar Vice. Jar Vice.
What's the color?
The color is love. Yeah. Jar Vice is great because they are sustainable.
Very important.
And they do, so this case here, I will keep forever and you just get refillables. So it's all refillables. So that's the way that they work, which I love. And then we have,
Oh, I'm just wearing this. I'm red lipstick. The TikTok version, which I actually really love. It has a little heart, but the product is kind of like a Sharpie that you put on and you click it, and it's always very nice.
and it has a heart. Yeah, it's very cute.
And it's the TikTok version, of course.
TikTok.
Branding, capitalism.
Anyway. Fuck everything.
It's a lovely color, though.
We also are burning my favorite incense from Encausa, who are sustainably producing amazing smelling. And they also have beautiful crafted pieces in there that they sell as well. I just adore them. And they're in Greenpoint, which we happen to be visiting.
Yes.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, and you just gifted me the Palo Santo stick for the cone for my birthday, and they were just delightful.
Yeah. Make sure when you're buying incense that you're fact checking and looking into where your products are coming from.
Who's making them?
Who's making them?
How are they sourced?
Yeah. You want to be ethical with everything that you're consuming. So the more ethical you are, and the more that we as a collective can demand that, the more of a voice we have. It takes all of us to participate. It really does.
Investigate. And not just accept. Step into your power and know that you can really be helping and supporting not only people that make the products, but also where they come from.
Yeah. So do you want to do the questions first and then do a directional pull for the full moon?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah? Okay. All right. So what should my focus be for the next cycle? Each gonna pull a card. We're tag teaming today.
Tag teaming.
All right. So threshold you have. I see. Okay. So just putting it back here. Yes, darling. I have this beloved Ace of Cups for you. Now, the Ace of Cups is reversed. And what do you have?
I have, let's see if I can pull that straight. So much detail.
Sometimes if you hold it back.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
This deck is a super deck, which was also a beautiful birthday gift. And the card is Threshold.
Okay.
You can't see, but it has two beautiful lines in the clouds.
So what I'm going to say to you, what should be your next cycle? you are definitely on the verge of a next cycle. However, you need to do some internal digging, some deep dive. And I have a feeling for you, this might come to light on this very full moon. Yes, because we have the Ace of Cups reversed, which is meaning to look into your little heart and think about what needs to be let go from your past in order to move on to the next cycle. So even before you can think about moving on to the next cycle, which will come to you once you've done this work of letting go of whatever is holding you back, there is something holding you back, though. So that's the key to this card.
And I would add to that with this threshold card. Obviously, when we think of a threshold, we think of a point of movement or transition we're talking about. But it can quite often seem that it's external. But as Kiki is saying, the work is so much internal, and your perspectives and the changes that happen there work to change the outside. So we work from the inside to the outside first. And the threshold is really inside.
All right. So hopefully that speaks to you, darling. And thank you to all the patrons. You are helping us support our collective. Maha.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So all of these questions today come from supporters. And if you want to support our work, you can join at patreon.com. The link is in the bio.
Thank you.
Down below. Oh my God, social media, fuck. Okay. All right. Curious about the nature of unseen obstacles right now. A hint at what is just beyond immediate perception that should be looking out for. Ooh, such a good question.
Person. Isn't this just the mystery of life?
Okay. I keep returning back to the screen. I guess I should. Should I do that? I don't know. Whatever. Okay, so you have the Two of Pentacles, also reversed. Yes, darling. So here, obstacles. You've certainly been encountering many obstacles lately. That is for sure. And this is saying there is always going to be some sort of obstacle. So it's up to you to focus and choose to focus on not the obstacles, but what you have gratitude for. So it's a karmic loop between the obstacles and being grateful. And the more grateful you are, and the more joyous and thankful you are, the less the obstacle comes into focus. It's a little bit of a trick there.
That's his life.
Yeah.
Okay. The card's individuation and a very archetypal sword in the stone. When we're talking about the unseen, something that I've recently been contemplating is the acknowledgement of the unknown. I think so much in our lives and how our world is constructed, we just want to know everything, we'll be able to perceive everything at once because it allows us to navigate our life. But at the same time, having that control also, I think, blocks us from stepping into our true power or our true individual selves or individuation. But also understanding that while we are individual, right, and that we do seem to be autonomous, we are such a greater part of the collective. And in order to open those barriers and tap into that, that's how we discover what the unknown is. That connection.
I love.
Mm-hmm.
Great work. Okay. What is the best way to support the kids that have recently become part of my life? All right. Do you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
So this is the thinking card. The series is very beautiful. As you can see, this is a labyrinth, one portion of it. So there are three other cards that put it together. So there's thinking, feeling, sensation, and intuition. Um, this is a thinking card. And maybe think about what thinking means in a different term, not necessarily thinking as in only using our mind, but thinking of the absolute joy and what a gift to have these children that have come into your life. And think about them as incredible creatures and beings, and talking about individuation and bringing that in, but also letting them know that they're not alone and that they're loved, and thinking of it in that way.
Yes. So for me, I've gotten the Six of Wands, which is just pleasure of creation. So, really get some Play-Doh, get some crayons out, bust out all the arts and crafts you can, whatever.
And join in.
Yeah, and maybe you could make like some fun. I always think if I had kids, I would make all the fun um food, like little face food and animal food and cute little snacky food.
Yeah. Or just the creation. I myself have just been taking some creative expression courses and going through the various stages of life, especially in development as a child and using different media. And it was so liberating for me. And it was really, really fun to be able to express myself. And I think being present with these kids and doing the activities together will just be so beautiful.
Yeah, and the other card I've received is the Three of Pentacles reversed. So for this card, I would say think about resourcefulness. So these kids might not have a lot of resources at their fingertips. So think about what they might have available to them, which might not be a lot. It could be like, picking up junk on the street, which, okay, COVID, we can't really do that right now, but maybe there's a way in which you can disinfect it for them and then you can build sculptures out of it, or
Being in
any
nature.
sort of resourcefulness. Well, they might not have access to nature, is what I'm thinking. So, finding the little things, like the cracks in the sidewalk, and just using whatever resources come up that is right there in front of your face.
And that's creativity right there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, next. Okay, so this is for pet psychic.
Okay,
Ms. Ex Machina. So why won't Bella play with red?
Why won't Bella?
This is a question from someone that has pets. We're gonna do some pet psychic work here.
This is Bluebell. Perfect. What we got, the card is gentleness. Gentleness. So Bella, she want to play with red. She needs red to be a little bit more gentle. They are just super excited and really want to play, and they don't realize their own size and energy and power. It's very hard. I initially would just say, just let them play. Maybe that there's too much outside pressure for them to play together, that they can't naturally be animals. Give them the space. As long as it's safe. I don't think that.
And maybe show how to be gentle, a gentle player, if it's possible.
Let them be dogs, if that's what they are.
All right. Where should I move next?
Ooh-wee. Does it matter which dimension? pull 2 cards for this one.
Yeah. Okay. Me too. Let's do 4 corners then.
Okay.
You're not moving north or south.
That's south. Or it could be west with water.
That's west.
It knows this.
East.
This is
Okay. I'm just gonna say, why do you want to move? What's the reason? Because from what I'm seeing,
what is the 6? We have the 6.
but it's reversed. They're both
Okay.
reversed.
Oh, they
it would-
are.
It would
Okay.
not be. But are you reading yours reversed? No.
No, I just
Yeah.
put them that way. Yeah.
So you could move east or west. So north and south, out of question. Don't do it, I would say. And then
So,
west.
which is interesting. The card is Psyche, right? Which, kind of be unconscious and these desires. And going with Kiki said, like, really investigate deeper subconsciously why it is you want to move, to make sure that your intention behind it is correct, that you're not just trying to run away from something or avoid it. But it's interesting that it's in the west, Psyche, associate with water and intuition, and then water is in the west.
So you're gonna get more femininity out of this going west.
Yeah.
And
Interestingly,
deepen your intuition.
The east, you have the card of gnosis, which also, so it's east, which is air, communication, knowing, gnosis. But I think importantly, with gnosis, that's really going internally too. There's a lot of external things, but I think tapping into that. And that goes hand in hand with really evaluating why it is you want to move and where you want to move, or what's the reason behind it.
Yeah, like this looks like it's going to be more organic.
Yeah.
Out west, and this is going to be more structured out east, which is kind of how it is actually in those areas. So you need to evaluate which direction is right for you. Do you want to implement more structure in your life, or do you want to implement more organic growth and fluidity?
I would definitely do some time meditating on it. And maybe even some automatic writing too, if you can tap in. Maybe that's how you can get a better direction of your intention. Or do you need to permanently move, or maybe you just want to move somewhere for 3 or 6 months, if you can do that.
Yeah, that would be smart. That's a good idea. Okay. Here we have our next question. Now we're getting into the sexual Scorpio. So the question is, should I have a foursome?
Have you
ever had a foursome?
No. Maybe not in this dimension.
All right. Okay, we have 3 of Wands reversed.
All your cards reversed. Stageness.
Scorpio full moon, that's why it's a lot of excavating, deep, dark excavating work happening, shadow work happening today.
Yes.
Sageness. I would say no.
More about the three of Wands reversed.
3 of Wands reversed is going to be a big block, kind of. That there might be actually some blockage and actionables. So 3 is an actionable, again, organic number, like going for it. And if it's reversed, it's blocked. So there is something preventing you from like going in that direction. So what is that? What is that stopping you? That's the question to figure out. But I would say until you have the answer to that question, I would not proceed, or I would proceed with caution.
We think that you can find a little bit of answer to the block in this card in sageness, maybe considering not tapping into really the Scorpio energy, right? And trying to block yourself from it and maybe being elevated in this, I'm a sage and I'm trying to know things and not really tapping into a lot of our animalistic and raw nature.
I like it. I like that. All right.
Hello, Venus.
Hello, Venus. How should I spice up my sex life? It's dormant, and I'm not so interested.
It's dormant. I just think of a mouse, a dormouse. I don't know.
This one needs to show what's telling me.
It's a 2 card.
Spice it up. Okay. Dear God, all the cards today are reversed.
Reversed again.
Honey, what is going on? There is something inside, internal. Oh, there's collective themes today too. Overthinking is what I'm thinking.
I feel it going too.
And add an impasse.
Thanks for the thinking.
Yeah, so there is something happening internally. 5 of Cups, grief, grief-stricken. Where is it coming from? What needs to be grieved? What needs to be mourned and put to bed? Yeah. There's something there with that. And your sex life, Queen of Cups is a rough card. I just feel like maybe I think you need to have some open dialogues about how you're feeling. Like, have you told them that you feel like your sex life is dormant? And have you said these things to your partner? It can be really hard things to say. And one person I really recommend for that is Esther Perel. Check her out. Um, I will send you some info, but I also will drop some links because I think I recommend her on every show for a good reason.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have to say, honey?
Well, it's interesting. We once again got thinking, and then I felt so inclined to the second card, which is impasse. It's like I mentioned before. So interesting how we can really become so separated from our bodies with our mind. And if we use our mind and thinking in this way, where it's very important that you are being able to articulate this, right? Like, how can I spice it up, or I'm not feeling it's dormant, or I'm not feeling attractive. But when you think about it and bring it up that way, finally, it really leaves you at an impasse if there's no option, because you're really separated from your body. So I think it's great that you're asking this question, and it may be extremely challenging to voice these things, but I think if you can articulate it coming from a place of worth, and that you can claim this and that you are entitled, it's your right. And it's not anybody's fault if you are not attractive or if you need something spiced up. Keep your mind out, mind in the back seat. Let your sacral chakra lead.
Okay. That was it for the questions for this round. And we will do a little pull for the full moon. So do you want to do north and south, and I'll do east and west?
Sure.
Do you want to do?
What? Look at that.
Hey. Equilateral rhombus. Yo, my geometry teacher sucked. Really bad. She was obsessed with Ohio State and put Ohio State stickers and all this paraphernalia all over the classroom just to be mean to all the students because we were from Michigan. She did not like me. Geometry. And I should have been good at geometry. You know? But I had an astrologer geometry teacher. Okay. There. We have the King of Swords. So the thinking caps are on, honeys. Get in there. Do a little extra thinking tonight. Read a little extra. If you don't read something. If you can't read, watch. Watch something or observe the sky. Reading can be just observation.
Maybe when you read it, as we're talking about thinking, try processing it and reading it from a different point.
Feel it in your body. Feel those thoughts. See how that settles on the Scorpio moon.
Yeah.
All right. Which direction are we going? South?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. South. This is the sacred geometry card.
She keeps disappearing
in other directions. Yes. So that represents fire in this day.
Mm-hmm. And the south is fire also.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yep. South is fire. Wands.
So get fired up.
Fire and sacral, water too.
Breathe into your sacral areas. Sacral.
It's very, this is very,
the pelvis.
This is very auspicious. Or even when you're just breathing, something that I always find myself, breathe into, relax into your belly.
When you're finding pleasure, and however that may, whatever form it might take for you, feel it in your pelvic area. Breathe into that area. If you're alive, you're breathing.
And then you can even rub it.
You can rub it. Clockwise or counterclockwise. Sebastian, as they say. Okay. Now we have the West. The West is having some struggles with the water. Unsurprisingly, we're coming into like an arid season out West, and fingers crossed that it's not as bad as the last year. Gosh, I feel so bad for everyone on the West Coast. And that said, I think that there is a lot of triggering or trauma or fears or thinking around that. And I would say take a little bit of time to write that out, like in the context of mother or human versus nature, right? Which is like an English literature theme, which just describes how colonialist and terrible English language is to begin with, that there are themes and it's all about the human versus bullshit. So maybe let's go beyond that a few steps.
Great.
Think outside the box. Think outside those boxes. How can you commune in? How can you commune in with the nature instead of be opposed to it?
Work with it, integrate.
Yeah. Learn some things. Take some time to learn some things you don't know. And for that, I always direct you to the indigenous peoples who are sovereign to the lands and take care of the lands that they are on because they know that they are not above it, and their languages do not speak that way. Fortunately, English does. So try and find a new language for yourself.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Okay, north.
North. Moon.
Oh,
There's a beautiful little bear down there, which I used to be very confused by bears. What are they? It always confused me very much. Like they're very soft and cuddly, but then they can tear you to shreds. It always confused me until recently. I was doing a little journey work and I discovered that like a bear's a guide of mine, and that's why I like so confused. It had always been there. Anyway, that's a little diversion, but it's very fitting that we have the moon for this full moon in Scorpio reading. What are you going to do to celebrate?
I'm about to do my own reading,
Mm-hmm.
and I took a bath already, a salt bath, and I will spend it with my beloveds.
Yes.
Ah, bah. As for bears, I love bears. They're the only other mammal that has an opposable thumb. So they can open up honey jars and open things.
I love it when they take baths.
They've also been terribly, terribly harmed by the
Mhm.
human race
Mm-hmm.
and are misunderstood, and humans are just kind of terrified of them. So, yeah, our relationship is a bit estranged with the bear.
Nature in general.
Maybe we should watch the bear documentary tonight.
That sounds like a great idea. We're also going to go on top of the roof through the hatch to look at the moon later. So we'll have a very beautiful and some pictures.
Blessings to all of you. Have a lovely full moon. No matter how hard it feels,
You're
move
not
through
alone.
it, and you're not alone. Ask for help. If you need help, ask your loves.
I'll even come and do your dishes if you need me to.
Bye for now.